We're live.
Yay! Happy anniversary to us.
Happy anniversary, guys.
So exciting. Isn't it weird to think that we are 2 years old today?
That's crazy.
I really can't believe it. We're really.
Sometimes it feels like, why do we have an echo?
We have a serious echo.
Oh, playback.
I don't know. I'm going to move my mic away just in case it's me.
Have you noticed that whenever all three of us try to do a live, there's always some type of echo?
There's always each one of us have an echo at least once.
Yeah. At this point, we're here. If you've been following us for long, you know how we operate. Sorry.
Write it in the comments who has the echo if y'all are watching and there's an echo.
Oh yeah, I guess that would be smart, huh?
Yeah, because I don't know.
And we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, this is our 2-year anniversary. So welcome to Black Prose Club, where Black lives, Black books, Black voices, and Black writers and stories have always mattered. My name is Oshale from Oshi Reads here on YouTube, BookTube Streets. And I cannot wait to share with y'all our plans for 2021. Passing the baton.
I am Brittany, aka Melanin Eclectic, and I'm also very excited to be celebrating because we actually made it. Like, woo!
Yeah.
I don't know what to say today other than that. So.
Hey guys, I'm Troy Nicole from Bookish Waffler, and I can't believe we've made it to the 2-year mark, guys. 2 years. It doesn't even feel like that long.
I feel like for me, it partly feels like it's been longer than 2 years. Like, I feel like I can't believe I've only known y'all for 2 years. That's very strange because I feel like I've always known y'all. Do you feel that? Like, I'm like,
I feel that.
I think it's because we talk every day as if we've actually like done everything together. So like,
I remember people always used to say like, oh, I met some of my best friends online. I talk to them every day. And I never understood it. Even when I started BookTube and I tried to become friends, like I remember in the beginning, I was part of more like AuthorTube because I started with NaNoWriMo, and I made really good friends with these 2 girls. And to this day, me and one of the girls are still pretty good friends. We don't talk a lot, but whenever we do reach out to each other like a couple times a year, and we're still like on good terms. But I remember when people would always say, oh, you know, you can make such good friends online. Like, I met my best friend online. Like, I met my group of friends online. And I never understood it. Like, I never understood how people could bond and get so close, never like meeting each other. And it wasn't until this book club and I was like, oh, you can like really bond with people online and like never. I think Brittany and I met one time during BookNet Fest in person. Troy and I have never met.
No. I've never met either of you guys.
But I've never met Troy in person either.
Which is a shame because y'all
you don't have to keep calling us out for that. We are very
every single live. Oshale calls us out for living like 15 minutes with each other and never have met.
We're okay with that though. We live a very introverted friendship, okay? We don't actually have to physically be in each other's presence. We're already cosmic sisters. So like we don't even have to be together.
I find it hilarious though that neither me nor Brittany knew each other lived in Houston until we moved the group chat from Instagram to actual texting. And then we were just both like, oh.
I was like, where do you live? Where? Oh, wow. I'm like right down the street from me. Never mind.
So before we go into our 2021 plans, first of all, hello to everybody who's joining us. We see all of your hellos, so welcome. And for those that are still coming in, hello. I wanted to just talk about like who we are as a club. If you haven't been here from the beginning and you just not really sure of like our mission statement, who we are and what we're about, we actually started off under a different name. So we went through a name change the beginning of 2020. We started off on January, like December. I think I reached out to y'all in was it December or November of 2018?
Yeah, I think it was late November.
Like 2018, I reached out to y'all, and the name of the book club at the time was A Seat at the Table Book Club, because that was when the very first huge uprising, I guess, of like Black BookTube happened, where that was right after the whole scandal with
wasn't that the
Thomas book turned into movie, and like no Black booktubers were invited, and there were just a series of events that were happening on BookTube where Black booktubers were being excluded from things that centered us, like books, films, events. We were literally not being invited to things, not being considered. And so there was a lot of discussion about it going on. And that's when I just knew, because I remember I made a video and I was talking about like, why do we continuously beg to be accepted by the dominant society? Like we're constantly like, please accept us, please invite us to things, please think of us, please read our books. And it's just like, why? And I started to realize that there were so many Black booktubers, and I was like, why don't we support one another? Why don't we uplift each other? Why don't we talk about our own books and have our own events and do our own thing? And that's not to say we don't want to be a part of the larger picture, but we need to spend more time building our own community as opposed to constantly looking for validation outside of our community. So that's kind of when I got the idea for the book club. And I wanted to call it A Seat at the Table Book Club, partly because I was influenced by Solange's album and her song.
Oh yeah, that fantastic album came out around that time too.
That's what inspired me. But also I was like, we are going to create our own table and we have our own seats. We don't need to be invited to your table. We don't need a seat at your table. We have our own. And that's when I like had been watching Melanin Eclectic, and I had been watching, Troy, what's the name of your BookTube channel? It's been a while. Waffler and could kill, I'd be dead.
And you know what's so funny? That wasn't the name back then.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. That's right. Your name, you changed your name too.
It was Troy Nicole. It was Troy. No,
it was
Cole's Reading Corner.
It was Cole's Reading Corner. Okay. Yep. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, so I had been watching both of them, and I honestly don't. I found Troy's channel because she made a response video, I believe, and then I don't remember how I found Brittany's channel. Actually, I have no idea. I feel like I've always been watching her channel because she does so many different types of videos, and I just something just told me, I was like, I want to invite them, and that's how the book club started. And we started off reading Becoming by Michelle Obama, and our very first live show was on January 13th of 2019, and the rest is history. And we have come this far, and I'm really excited because each year we're very much like the slow and steady pace. You know, we're not the book club that's that got like, you know, thousands of subscribers in like a couple months. Like that's not us. But I'm still okay with our pace, and I'm still okay with the
hey, we have 500 subscribers on Instagram. We're at 503. I feel like it's a slow burn, but like we're still doing it.
Yes. Out. So I'm gonna stop rambling now. But I just wanted to give some background on our mission statement. Basically, is just we are for us. You know, we are by us. That's our thing, you know. We're wanting to uplift and support Black artists really across the diaspora, you know, writers and actual artists, as in, you know, people who create art, whether that be whatever medium that is. And we want to branch out more beyond books. We have started a little bit with our podcast, but it's really important to us to support one another, and that's really just what we're about here at Black Prose Club.
Which leads us into, so we have 13 fantastic points to bring to you guys today, because we're also trying to be more organized in how we bring the information to you. So we have 13 points and goals and things that we plan on putting into Black Prose this year, and which also means we're going to need your help. So, the first thing is we want to build all of our platforms. We know we're not on Twitter a lot. It'd be real hard to talk about staying off Twitter for your mental health and then being on Twitter, but we're going to try. We would like to also build up our Instagram and our YouTube channel. We really want everybody to understand that this is just one brand, one network, but it be in multiple spectrums of the social media world. So with that being said, if you are not following us while you're watching us, you've come here before, you like us, that's why you're back. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Leaving comments is fantastic engagement for us, and we definitely appreciate it. If you see us on Instagram, share it. Invite other people to come join and listen to us. Basically, we can't grow if you guys don't watch. So thanks for watching.
Yes. Troy, you want to take the next point?
Yes. Okay. The next one, I don't know how we're going to do this, but it is posting once a week on Instagram. We go through little phases on Instagram where it'll be like one time we'll be like posting nonstop, and then the next time we'll be like completely ghosting. I think you can actually go to our Instagram and see last year's throwbackathon, and then maybe like all of 5 posts before that is the previous year's throwbackathon. So we're going to try to get really serious about posting more because engagement on all social platforms leads to engagement on YouTube. That's how you have to grow your following. So we are going to try to get very serious about that. We'll have to come together and figure out how that's going to be done, but that's something we're really looking forward to this year.
Yeah.
Also, call us out. If you haven't seen any activity on our social media in a while, call us out.
Just put on your story, yo, where Black Prose at?
Yeah.
The next goal is we would like to really work towards monetization on YouTube. And, with the way the YouTube algorithm is, it really depends on watch time is how you get monetized. It's not so much about, you have to have a certain amount of subscribers, but it's really about watch time. And so we are going to come up with a plan to have more content on this channel. We do have, our monthly lives and our podcasts, but we're going to try to come up with some more creative content for you all on this channel outside of those scheduled, and consistent programmings that we already have.
Speaking of consistent, we are not going to be adding any more readathons to Black Prose. Black Prose will be forever known as the original Throwbackathon and the original Naked Readathon. If you see any other ones, they are duplicators, and that's fine. They can duplicate, but as the originators, I'm just letting you know, Throwbackathon this year will be in March, and the Naked Readathon will be in July. Obviously, we will give you more information the closer we get to that. But I figured if you have a reading planner, specifically a Melanin Eclectic one, you should probably go ahead and just put a little note or a sticky note or something to let you know that a readathon is coming in those 2 months. So you have a place to put the prompts when we present them. And I will only plug my planner once. Okay.
And I will say that we have already started planning Throwbackathon since it is in 2 months, and I am so excited. I honestly feel like this year's Throwbackathon is the best.
It's the best.
So excited for y'all to see like our reading prompts, our visuals, like our social media prompts, like maybe there might be some extra things. So I'm super excited for y'all to see that. But another goal of ours is we want to continue to build our merch line. We've kind of tested it with the Monster Smut sweatshirts, but we want to branch out into more bookish things and really kind of become, we wanted to become a part of our brand, and we also wanted to become a source of like income, like a revenue to help funnel like finances back into the book club and things like that. So that is coming soon. That is to be announced. Just the normal bookish things like bookmarks, maybe mugs, maybe some other things. So we are going to be planning on dropping some merch at some point this year throughout the year.
Okay, the next one we want to talk about is actually one we are real excited about as well, and that is introducing our year-long reading challenges. Now, before anyone freaks out about year-long, it's going to be a set of reading challenges. You don't have to actually do reading challenges every day for a whole year, but we have a set of reading challenges we are super excited to bring to you guys. We'll have more information a little later on. You don't have to wait that long, but we're really excited for this to bring so much more to this channel and more reading to this channel as well.
Yes. To add on to that, we will be having an official video dropping on this channel, and I'll be having them dropping on my main channel, just going into more detail about what the challenges are. And that is coming up this next week. So stay tuned. Make sure you've hit the notification bell on here. And also, if you want to hit the notification bell on my channel, OC Reads, that way you'll be aware of when the videos drop.
Wow, look, we've already hit another announcement. So, in the month of February, we know that it is Black History Month for the African Americans in the United States. I know that we have Black History Month in other countries and other times of the month, but it is finally time for the Black Prose Black Book Summit 2021, which means we have officially started working towards the idea of one day being able to actually say the Black Book Summit and it be an event that people want to go to. But we are officially starting it this year. What does that exactly mean? We have 4 different panels set up for you guys. Currently working on trying to figure out who the best booktubers would be to bring the best value to those. We cannot reveal the names of said panels yet because, again, we do keep some of the surprise, but we'll be doing Black-specific booktube panels. No, none of them are diversity in books. None of them are diversity in booktube, and none of them will be involving anybody trying to placate us and play us as if we are only good enough to be a throwaway character. Every panel will be centered around us, focused on us, and highlighting different parts of Black booktube that often get erased or ignored because there are other booktubers that are more commercially light in that place. So needless to say, if you are a Black booktuber watching this, if you don't have your social media open to messages and things, you might want to just open it so we can reach you, because if we can't reach you, you can't be a part of it. Also, I know that, yes, and Jerry, blackity black, black, black.
Yes. And honestly, we as a club felt so strongly about doing this during Black History Month because year after year after year, we see the pandering that goes on during Black History Month, where all of a sudden booktubers have found their way to their Black books on their shelf.
The only 3 books that they had, apparently.
Yes. And, apparently they can only read They Hate You Give just one more time, and it always centers Black trauma. It always centers our struggle. It always centers our pain. It always centers the things that we've been through and are going through and that literally keep us up at night. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. It's bad enough we get the shortest month of the year. What about Black joy? What about our successes? What about the things that we love to do? What about the things that make us excited? The books that we love, the genres that we love. So we just felt so strongly about this that y'all are already going to be inundated by your fave, talking about our trauma, talking about, I finally read The Life of Frederick Douglass. It was so sad. Oh, y'all are already going to have those videos. We're not adding to that, okay? It's not what we're about. I'm sorry.
Woo!
Okay.
Listen, I was not ready for Frederick's name to be bought up.
Like, we need to change the narrative here on BookTube. Like,
Yes.
y'all ain't about to play us and cry every year in February.
Right.
Participating in
a Black Readathon does not make you less racist. It just lets us know you act like you got to take the 2 Black books you took the time to pick up, or you got to save them only until February. Nah. Here on Black Prose Club, we are blackity black 24/7. It's just that in Black History Month, we're gonna start treating it like the party that it's supposed to be.
Look, it is very lit over here. It is a great thing to be Black. We love ourselves. And just because the world is not the easiest place to live for us does not mean that we need to join the pity party train that happens in February every year. No, ma'am, and no, sir.
Tired. The narrative is changing, and Black prose is leading the way.
Period. Period.
Period.
Honestly, guys, I feel like all of our other points are kind of lackluster compared to that. I wasn't that 13. Okay.
I'm looking at the, they're important, but yeah, we should have saved that one for last.
Okay, the next point is actually something we've talked about ever since starting the podcast. And we are actually going to do it this year, and that is having a theme song for our intros, and not just for podcasts, but anytime you guys, come to hear us do podcasts, do lives, anytime you come here to watch us, we want to have a specific theme song that when you hear, you just automatically think BPC all the time. And hopefully we will get that done sometime this year. That is something we are very much looking forward to.
And if you know someone, or if you are someone that is good with engineering, music, production, things of that nature, please feel free to drop us an email, a message to our social media. We would be more than happy to hear you out.
Also should point out, Black Prose pays. You will not get screwed as an artist. Black Prose pays. Don't worry, we got you. Okay. The next thing. This is the part that I'm excited about. Okay, so for those who are new, if you have been seeing the graphics and stuff, if you're even looking at our screen right now, I do the graphics for Black Prose, except for our logo. Our logo is done by somebody who I will never be able to reach the level of excellence on, which we really got to start leaving her information in our thing so they know that I do this logo. But I do the graphics for everything. We're going to start including like videos and different visuals into our live shows and stuff, which should be good because, we're going to have to teach ourselves how to do some things, obviously. But that means we get to show some more things for you guys. So we'll be able to have deeper discussions about certain things. I feel like, I don't know what we're going to do yet. I just know that it's something that we want to do. So the first couple of visuals might be rough, but we'll get it by the end of the year.
We will. Like, when I think about visuals, I think about how important it is. Like, for example, our colorism series, which, yes, we will be continuing this year. We are just taking the time and the care because it's such an important topic to really make sure that we're able to bring it with the level of excellence that we feel like it deserves. But, if we're doing a colorism panel, another podcast, and we want to talk about, in the prison industrial system, and there's maybe a video clip or something that we want to show that adds to what we're saying, then we want to be able to play that, and share our screen from our computer and play that for y'all to really bring that to life. Stuff like that.
Could be fun. Or, if we want to showcase randomly that, Troy might have had something new in her shop and we want to just blatantly showcase Black businesses, we can do that way better with visuals.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, we want to build our Patreon so we can do more. That's something that we haven't put as much focus on because obviously Patreon is something that you do of your own free will. We appreciate any and all support, but we also want to be able to give you more. And the way our Patreon is set up is like we could really do some cool, interesting things. And we want to be able to do that. So we want to be able to build our Patreon audience, so we can also do more behind the scenes with our Patreon audience, and also do more for y'all, because we'll have that financially be able to do that.
Listen, I as a business owner, I will just say this. We have ideas for you guys, and we are dying to get these ideas out to you guys. But some of these ideas are not free, nor are they cheap. So having the community back us in any way that they can, but specifically financially, it would be a huge help. Thanks so much.
The next thing we want to do as far as our book club picks is that in prior years, we have stayed kind of not purposely niche specific in a lot of our book club picks, but we want to start bringing in more genres and Black writers all over the diaspora, because we do realize that a lot of times it would either be a romance or it might be a fantasy. And we're really going to try to dip our toes into other things this year, because we want to make sure we are delving into all aspects of genres and Black writers all over the world, not just here in America and not just in the UK like we've done before, like everywhere.
With that being said, we more than likely will not have any YA picks for 2021. And I'm very, very excited about that. Now, don't get me wrong, we're still shout out books. Like, you know, there are certain YA books I'm excited about that are by Black authors. We're still going to shout them out. But as far as the books that we will be analyzing together as a group, our goal is to hit adult hard, because all of us are adults. Most of us are past the college age at that. So we would like to jump into adult, and then we would also, like, personally, I do want to dive really hardcore into some adult fantasy sci-fi, specifically Afro sci-fi SFF, which we all Gary is probably gonna like shoot up in a second, but that is the direction that I plan on going. I haven't figured out which books, but I purposely will not be picking any YA, and we're gonna analyze some adult books in this group because we are freaking adults.
Yes. I'm super excited about going into like the autobiography sphere, because there's so many people whose lives I'm just so curious about, to know what they went through and how they navigated the spaces that they were in, socially, you know, racially, you know, financially, just everything. And I want to try to pick historical figures that maybe are not spoken about as much, but also had a huge cultural impact. And of course, we are going to look, like Troy said, throughout the diaspora, and not just keep it limited to the Western world, or even if we do dive into Africa, not just keep it specific to, you know, Nigeria or Ghana or South Africa or some of these more popular countries. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's out there.
I think we're gonna get, I think this year, purposely setting restrictions, we're gonna really open up our reading. So I think that should be, I mean, not to say that we don't read adult and stuff on our personal time, it's just that for some reason in the book club, we've kind of stayed in the same area. And I think we only branched out, we've only read like two adult books our entire history as a book club. That was Michelle Obama. Oh wait, no, 3. It was Michelle Obama, She Would Be
King, and what's the one about the immigrant experience we just read?
Behold the Dreamer.
Behold the Dreamer.
Yeah. The rest of them were YA.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, my pick last year wasn't YA.
Oh, my sister. Wait, was it My Sister the Serial Killer?
No, it was the romance. The Worst Best Man.
Oh, that's right. Listen,
that's right.
I completely forgot we read that for the book club pick.
That which shall not be named.
Wow. Yeah.
Let's move on. Okay, so lastly, we want to continue to bring important topics to the table of discussion via our podcast. So as y'all know, we branched out into podcasting last year. We still have some kinks to iron out with the whole podcasting thing, because podcasting is really hard to do if you and your fellow podcasters are not in the same room. I don't know if many people know that. So we've been forced to use StreamYard. I mean, it's not a choice for podcasting. It's literally the only thing that we've been able to find that has supported all three of us being in different places and still being able to provide y'all with good audio quality and, you know, things of that nature. So
we've tried.
We're probably more than likely going to continue on StreamYard unless by some miracle we find another platform that works for us. And we are going to be, like I said, continuing our colorism series, and we have some other topics that we want to be talking about that's affect the Black community. And so the podcast is just broadening our horizons beyond books, beyond the booktube world, book Twitter, and all of that, more into like the African Black community and what is going on. So I think that's it.
Ooh, we got a good question. Is the podcast up on Spotify now?
This is what I mean by StreamYard, because I guess technically what we could do is we could download the StreamYard video once it posts to our YouTube, turn it into an MP3 and post it on Spotify.
I think that could work.
I found out.
I know people who do it the opposite way, like they podcast and then turn it into a YouTube video and post it on YouTube. I know people who do it that way. But that is definitely
actually, I'll tell you guys in the chat later.
Okay.
We might, I mean, if that's another thing, like we actually went through our 13 points pretty quick. So if you have questions, now would be the best time to ask these questions. But I guess that is one that we have to figure out, because I know that some people said that they like the idea of us having podcasts because they can listen to the podcast, like, you know, Spotify or what is the other one? SoundCloud or whatever. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This comment says, I would like to see a delve into backlist authors like Eric Jerome Dickey,
maybe yes.
Terry McMillan, Elin Harris, Pearl Cleage, Diane McKinney, Wheatstone as well. Is that possible? Actually, that's a good question. When we say that we want to diversify our reading, that does not mean that we're only focusing on new releases. For example, the book that we are reading for this 2-month period, that book came out 2000, couple years ago, I think. I forgot what year it came out. So we actually picking books. Sometimes I do like me personally, I do like to pick one at least that came out this year. Because especially if it's like a debut author or something, we do try to highlight new Black authors. But definitely these authors are also up for game. What we try to do, because I do know we have some new members here, which, hi, welcome. One thing that we try not to do often is we try not to pick series often. And the reason for that obviously is we may not, or we have not yet done where we did a whole series. That's maybe in the future we might do that, but right now we don't. So you might get a taste of the first book of a series from us, and then you decide if you want to continue. One of the books that I'm thinking about picking is actually an Eric Jerome Dickey one, which is funny because
really?
I went back to his catalog to see what it was, because I was just like, I feel like this would be the time to bring it, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet, because, you know. Oh, that's another good question. The book choice. Do you want to explain how we're doing the reading this year? Did we talk about that? I don't remember.
We talked about it very briefly towards the end of our live on Saturday, where we discussed I've already forgotten the name of the book.
Cinderella is Dead.
Cinderella is Dead. But we essentially are going to be reading, instead of reading 4 books this year, because what we were doing last year is we did quarters. So every 3 months we had a book. And we each had a quarter. And then the last quarter was like a voting, you know, y'all voted for the book. But this year we want to read more books, because last year that put us at only reading 4 books. And so this year we're actually doing every 2 months we're reading a book. And so that puts 3 of us with 2 book picks that we're picking. We're not doing the voting thing at all this year. So we're basically just experimenting to see what fits us best. So this year, this is how we're going to do it. So every 2 months, you know, one of us is going to have a book pick, and, you know, we'll talk about the book in a live show at the 3rd Sunday of the 2nd month. For right now, we are contemplating changing that as well. So we're going to need your input as to what day between Saturday and Sunday and what time works best for everybody to talk about the book. But yeah, so that's kind of how we're doing it this year. And this quarter, so January, February, is Troy's book pick, and we will be discussing it as of right now on the 3rd Sunday in February at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Troy, the book you picked is Escaping Exodus, and it is by, I want to say, Nikki Drayden. Yep. And I still haven't received my copy. I'm just like,
me neither.
It's taking forever to ship. I purchased it from Amazon. I purchased the physical book from Amazon. And I guess Amazon Prime has spoiled me, because now I'm just used to getting things super fast. But this wasn't available on Amazon Prime. And I keep actually like looking. I'm actually looking right now to see when it's supposed to be delivered, because I don't have that long to read it now. But okay, arriving January 21st through the 28th. I should have just gotten the ebook.
I might have to just cancel the order and get the ebook, because
good grief.
I need to start reading it now.
Me too.
And then, you know, because I watched one of Jerry's videos, I thought about it. I'm like, why don't I just, maybe there's an audiobook that I can also just take notes on. I'm going to write the name of the book in the chat with the author name and put it on the screen.
I think it might be too late for me to cancel this, since it's already shipped. Or has it? Yeah, it did.
Mine hasn't shipped yet. It hasn't updated anything. So I might just cancel it. But yeah, our meeting will be on February 21st as of right now. Oh, that's another thing. So there is a fantastic online bookstore that is Black owned by a person that I know named Isis, and that is Sister Sci-Fi. And so if it is a book that fits into that genre realm, or I think it's just Black books in general, if we know ahead of time, we can see if Isis can stock the book for anybody who wants to buy books. Fantastic service. I've ordered a couple books from Sister Sci-Fi and have gotten them with no problems, no hassle, or whatever. So, yeah, I guess that's something we need to write. I guess I will look into that part. Don't worry. And then we'll put the information for you guys. Next question. And Jerry has a 2-part question. So I will ask the first part. For each of you, how has being in this club helped you grow? And Jerry with the questions. I will answer.
We're all just like.
See, I feel like this is a loaded question in a way, because it's just like, how has it helped me grow? Like, me personally? None. Because they let me be myself 100% of the time. Myself being that this is the very muted, tame version of the things that we talk about in our group chat. So if anything, I think it's kind of taught me a little bit more tact in the way that I'm talking, where I can still read somebody for filth, but I can do it tactfully. I think that's what I'm gonna say.
For me, I kind of look at this question in a different way, in the sense that when I first started the book club with y'all, I honestly was just thinking of it as like, it'll be fun. We can talk about Black books. Hopefully I get along with these girls and we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm the type of person that I'm very much a planner. I plan out everything in my life. And this book club was one of the very first things that I've started just on a whim. And obviously I didn't know y'all. And it has evolved and become something so much bigger than what I ever imagined. Like it just has taken on a life of its own in the best ways possible. In the sense of like from a personal perspective, like gaining like good friends, to like a social perspective, realizing like we're kind of needed on BookTube. Like nobody really has the discussions that we have. No one really goes where we go. At least not that I know of. If y'all know of another book club that does, please leave them in the comments. I would love to support them. But I feel like our discussions are really relevant and important to the space that we're in. And that definitely took me by surprise, because you can't really predict how things are going to go when you just reach out to two people you don't know and ask them to start a club with you. You just don't know how it's going to go. You're like,
you say it like that.
And all three of us had never really gone live like that. We weren't really comfortable going live. Like it's not something we did all the time.
You know, I used to be sweating buckets, like sweat pouring down my back that first time we went live.
Me too. And then like my brand on Oshi Reads is very like curated. It's very just like, you know, well spoken, even though that is a microaggression. Okay. I don't care what you say. If you say a Black person is well spoken, that is a microaggression. But like that is like my brand.
I don't think it's micro though.
It's a macro.
It's a macro.
But yeah, my brand on Oshi Reads, like if y'all have been following me for any length of time, you know it's very, very, like I'm very careful about it, right? I'm not like off the chain like I am on here. Like I'm very talk about this issue that we're discussing. Okay.
I tried to blame your outspokenness on me one time. I was so offended. I was like, first of all, I understand what you're presented with, but what I know, like I have influenced no one in this book club. No one. Everyone here gets along with me for a reason. All I'm going to say.
I feel like every time Oshile or I like speak up a little bit more, it probably always gets blamed on Brittany.
No, I've done nothing. Like they do this all the time.
I agree. What I will say is my answer was a little bit like Oshile's, is that I think my YouTube was, because actually I don't have them up right now, but if you watch my original Being Black on BookTube video from 2018 to the one I did last year, the one I did last year, I was just like, how did this not get taken down? I was
proud of it.
I was way more outspoken, I think,
Loved
than the original one. Because in my original one, I was like sweating bullets. I was just like, ooh, Lord, I think most of y'all don't even think I'm Black and gonna be real confused about me talking about this stuff. I think I was so much more like, I'm not spoken in real life. I just don't like, I'm not a very social person. But I think being in the BookTube, as far as being in the book club, as far as my self on BookTube as a whole, I think I got a little bit more outspoken than I was in the beginning, because I don't think I'm not outspoken. I think I'm very talkative, but I don't know, something about being on BookTube, especially in 2015 when I started the the BookTube, I don't think there were a lot of people really talking about what's being talked about now. Like, you know, like it just wasn't. Like no one was reading Black books. No one was reading. There were, but like it's like smaller, you know, YouTubers that were doing it. You know what I mean? Like, and no one was really having big conversations like they are now. So back then it was just like, ooh, should I say this though? Should I go back to like middle school Troy when I went to schools, and I just was just like, let me shut down my whole grew up in the hood personality. I think now that I have, you know, hung out with you guys for 2 years, and also, I don't want to say find my voice, because again, like Brittany said, we're like this in the group chat. Like on a day-to-day basis, me and you are talking like this all the time, emotionally. Like this isn't a new thing. But I think as far as the book club, it definitely helped me just say screw it as far as how I'm seen on BookTube as a whole. Because I think a lot of people had this really big sister-ish type feel about me, which I never meant to give off. I was perceived as that Black friend that, you know, the stereotypical Black friend in like your friend group. And I never meant to be that. And so I feel like, especially when I kind of moved away from that, I was a little bit happier because I wasn't like sugarcoating anything anymore, if that makes sense.
I think we all have the same answer in the sense that the book club has really just helped us be our authentic selves. And we don't feel the need to dumb down or whitewash who we are in order to be palatable or accepted by a larger audience. We've just become more comfortable in being ourselves.
I think we embody what the original name of the book club was.
Yeah. More so now, but it's not even our name anymore.
Right. The only reason we changed it, to be clear, because that name was just too freaking long.
It was so long.
And there was another book club that had that name that I had no idea about until like 6 to 8 months into us being a club. And I was like, oh, yikes. So that was also part of it too.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer part 2 of Jerry's question of what's something you admire about your 2 co-club leads? Because I'm going to personally say no, because we all know what receiving compliments makes me feel all weird.
Wow. So, and you know, Brittany's my cosmic sister, so you know I'm on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
we are always on the same plane.
I see the please God no in y'all's eyes, so we're not.
I love y'all. That's all I gotta say.
Before somebody thinks we're like being crazy, this is just, some of us have personalities where like, how do I put this without making it sound like super weird? And Jerry does this to me all the time on her lives. Like if I pop into a live and I say something on her live, she will literally begin the outpouring of admiration. It's not that the pouring of admiration is bad. It just makes me real squirmish and uncomfortable, as if people can literally see me naked.
Wow.
And I'm like, I appreciate it, thanks, but I'm sweating and they can't even see me. I'm good. So wow. I tell them I love them all the time. And I also shout Jerry out the same way. Like when she's done, I'll write her like, wow, you really had, you know how this makes me feel. You just had to do that. Let me see. Next question. Oh wait, I missed it. Oh, this is for Oshale. Did you search for Black booktubers as well, or did you know immediately that you wanted Brittany and Troy Nicole?
So if you're a person of faith, no matter what your faith might be in, then you'll kind of vibe with me on this question. But I have a very strong relationship with God, my God being the Christian God, Jesus. And I put Jesus in everything that I do. So when I decided that I was going to start the book club, I literally prayed about it. And I just wanted God to lead me to the 2 people that he felt. And actually, it was originally more than 2 people. And she pops in sometimes, but Jordan from, what is her booktube channel name?
Left on Jordan.
Left on Red, right? Left on Red. Oh, she was originally gonna do it too, but she had her own thing going on with her husband. They are so freaking cute. Well, they have their own book club. They have their own book club and their own podcast, and she just felt like it would be too much. But I had I can't talk. I had originally reached out to the 3 of you because I just felt like God was telling me, like leading me. I kept thinking about y'all's videos. I kept revisiting y'all's channels, and I just felt something in me was like these three. And I also wanted to shine a light on, I feel like not enough people knew about y'all's channels, you know, like on the list that I saw of like, oh, Black booktubers and stuff. It was very rare that I saw.
I hadn't even reached 1,000, I think. I don't even think I was over 1,000 subscribers when
I wasn't either.
Yeah. I did that on purpose because I think I had gotten an influx of subscribers after I talked
from your Zenith video.
That was the biggest scam on BookTube, because I think people thought that I was going to just start bashing books, and that's why they subscribed to me.
You're a dark-skinned Black girl with an opinion against everybody else. They just knew you was about to have an attitude, and they didn't even check their prejudice before they hit subscribe.
I was like, this is a scam, because I'm not doing this further than this. But so my platform had like exploded within the matter of like, I don't know, like a week or two. Cause I literally went from like not even 2,000 subscribers to like 5,000 or 6,000 subscribers within a very short amount of time. And so I was very conscious about wanting to choose people who were like me before I made that video, you know, who were just doing their thing and like didn't have a lot of notoriety or people watching their channel, but who deserved way more. So that was like my number one criteria. And then I found their channels, and then I just kept watching and watching. And I was just like, I was so nervous. The first time I reached out to them, I literally was sweating. Okay. Like I wrote like 4 different emails, like deleted them all. And then my mom was like, just do it. Just do it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? I was like, they won't respond. No. And so, you know,
that is the worst that could happen.
That is the worst that could happen.
But yeah, so Jesus is the reason for this book club.
I was fangirling. I was like, oh, she Reed sent me a message.
I fangirled. I was like, what? Did I say, oh, she Reed?
I was like, oh my God.
No,
I told my mom and everything. My mom was like, oh, she reads? I was like, yes, Mom.
I swear. I literally like was audio messaging my best friend. I was like, girl, this booktuber I watch all the time. Like she just me. She was like, girl, what are you talking about?
I know. I was like, I need more booktube friends so they can stop looking at me like I was crazy. Because if I had booktube friends back then, they would have geeked with me.
Right. That's funny. That's so funny, because I was like literally like so nervous, but I just was like, you know, what's the worst that could happen? They won't respond, or they'll say no, you know. So it worked out.
Another question. How do you feel about Black booktubers who feature predominantly white authors? I can answer this very easily. That's their prerogative. We're not here to police what you read. We're just trying to encourage you to think beyond the commercial route.
I've kind of been on both sides of this road, because I remember when I first started BookTube, it reminded me a lot of when I first started school in America and everybody was white. And so it's like you have to assimilate into that environment. And when I started, me and Troy started our channels around the same time. There weren't a lot of Black people doing BookTube videos. We were a minority, you know? And it was kind of like you kind of had to talk about the popular books to get views. You had to do book hauls to get views. You had to do like rant videos to get views. Like there were certain things that you had to do to get views, and nobody was talking about, with the exception of the OG. Oh, and this is gonna bug me if I can't remember her channel name. This is really gonna bug me. Brown Girl Reads. Brown. Dee. What's Dee Dee's channel name? Brown Girl Reading, right?
I'm gonna say it's Brown Girl Reading. Yeah, it's Dee, right?
Literally, with the
exception, she was the only one that I saw for a minute.
She was like the OG. Like she was like one of the only ones. There were a few others, but she really comes to mind because she was not messing around. She was like, nope.
Hers was
Black literary. This is what we do. And I used to watch her channel all the time. She inspired me so much, but it was like, she has painstakingly built her audience and her platform, and she still doesn't have the amount of subscribers that she deserves. It's insane. But, you know, she was one of the only people that I saw. And like I said, there are a handful of other people, but it was one of those things where it was just like, it's not that I didn't want to talk about Black writers. It was like not too many people were. And the white authors that were writing like the popular YA books, those were the videos that were being watched. And for me, I kind of had a weird reading history, because when I was a kid, I read kid books, and then I skipped. There was no YA when I was growing up. So I went from kids to adult, straight to adult. So I had never read a YA book until I was like 24 years old. Like I think the first YA book I read was like Twilight or something. When, you know, like
that was the first YA book I read too.
Yeah, but I was like old when I read Twilight. I was in my 20s. So
I definitely had my own apartment by the time I read Twilight, and that's okay.
That's okay. So I was fascinated by YA because I just didn't experience it. It was the one genre that I had never really experienced. So it wasn't like a hardship for me to read YA when I first started. I was excited to, but so I say all that to say I don't judge what people do on their channel, because coming to a place of being comfortable in your Blackness, and especially being comfortable in your Blackness in a majority white platform, is a journey.
Knowing that it'll hurt your views, because it will hurt your views.
It will.
I think that because of the way that the world is, if you have been taught, we've all been taught a certain way, that type of conditioning takes a while and effort to break out of. It's like I didn't even think to start talking about Black books on my channel until I became obsessed with Jerry's channel.
Yes.
Because again, there were very few that were blackity black. Because even my channel right now, I read everything. I read everyone. I've just been consciously making a decision to try to highlight others. The only people that I have problems with are people who the entire time
hold on.
White authors. I'm going to say this very cleanly.
She's about to get on her soapbox. I'm so excited. Okay.
I'm not soapboxing. The only problem that I have, if you choose to feature predominantly white authors all year round, do not switch the game up when you see it as an opportunity to get your subscriber count up. We are not here for your rise to fame. We are not here for your view count and your monetization. We've been here since day one. So if you decided, or if something finally inspired you to say, I want to uplift my own, do that. But also notice, we peep what happens 2 months later down the line. Only difference is we just don't feel like dealing with your little followers trying to come at us, because we're grown and we'll hurt somebody's feelings. And it's best we not do that, because we also really like our book club. And we like that trolls don't know we exist yet. So we've really been here just like enjoying being able to have conversations that most people are afraid to have, because we don't have the troll world. I know when we finally get the troll world, we already know that our viewers are already ready to moderate and knock them dead. But at the same time, I will say this again as nicely as I put it. White booktubers are not the only performative people in this community. And we really got to stop this crap with that. If you like reading predominantly white authors, do you, boo? No one's stopping you. But stop using the color of your skin to profit when you don't use the color of your skin to stand up for your own people.
Look, I couldn't have said it any better. Like that has basically what has gone on for the past year. And we may not say anything, but we see it. And it's very interesting.
Also, there's another aspect to what Brittany said that kind of grinds my gears. And it's when, and I've seen this happen, it's when it doesn't matter if they are Black booktubers, if they're POC booktubers, if they're white booktubers, if they start reading Black books and they'll say, I've never heard anyone read this on BookTube. And I'm just like, that's like one of the most popular releases. Like I've heard like 8 people talk about this book. Like, what are you talking about?
It's this idea that you're the first. Like
you're the first.
In a world where everybody replicates someone. Like, respect who it came from. Mm-hmm. If all of a sudden you talking about a book because you watched it on somebody else's channel, shout them out. Don't spoil their format. It's not hard. Like, I could go on a rant for this forever. We see everything that's going on. We just pick and choose what we're going to talk about, because we also understand that there are 2 of the 3 of us are not market friendly compared to the commercial worlds. If all we wanted to do was showcase our lovely Troy, we would get all types of sponsorships and everything else. The moment that we decided to put our faces as a collective, we already know. Here go Brittany with her attitude. Ochele over there swinging her hair. Is that even hers?
Notice, no one ever says that O'Shalay's talking more came from me. They said it came from Brittany.
Listen, all I'm saying is we actually do want to grow this channel and we do want sponsors. Mm-hmm. So we know that we got, if we can't figure out how to say it tactfully, then we can't say it. That's pretty much been the rule. And that's why it took me so long to just say what I just said, because what I really wanted to say versus what I just said, 1,000 times different.
If y'all ever hear one of us say, keep it in the group chat, that's what we mean, because sometimes we skate the line and we be like, oh, keep it in the group chat, because we could go off on here, but then, you know, we wouldn't be advertiser friendly.
And we do like money.
We like money, okay?
Let's be very clear. That's the only reason why. Like, the rest of it is like, keep us on Twitter. Like, if we start getting on Twitter more often, I feel like maybe we would, but that's really not our thing. Our goal is to not sit on here and bash other Black booktubers, because to be honest, that's what everyone else likes to see anyway. They love the idea of drama. For God's sakes, the booktube community has book community now. Like, they're just waiting for stuff like this to pop off. So it's like,
we're not giving them a TV show,
but I would rather check them behind closed doors than put it out there for everybody to see. And I don't know how we got here from this question, but it really segued into a lot.
Yes.
It's like,
I feel like we covered so much in that question. Like,
it's like, just so you know where we stand. I think that was,
that was really good.
Oh man. I mean, to be clear though, we do want sponsorships. I actually don't mind not getting art campaigns anymore. I used to be really offended about that. But like, now that I get them sometimes, I'm not mad that I'm not on them. I lied. I'm only salty that I wasn't on the Legend Board one. Put me on the Legend Board too. That's the only one. But the other ones, I'm like, I kind of don't like the pressure of arcs.
Yeah, it's too much for me.
I realize that. Like, I know there are reviewers, like people who really review books and review books regularly, that I wish there was a way that we could just be like, yo, like, I'm just gonna be really honest with you. Like, I will more than likely end up reading this arc when the book comes out. Go ahead and send this art to so-and-so, because I know they review books. That's their thing. That's their whole niche, is reviewing books. My niche is reading books and giving a weird synopsis at the end of the month. I know I'm not a reviewer. So I'm glad that Black Prose does not have arcs. We don't need arcs. Oh, since we're here.
Oh, yes.
Dear Black indie authors, we thank you so much for finding Black Prose. We think it's amazing that you have taken the time out of your schedule to come check us out. We also think it's amazing that you yourself have decided to publish a book. Do not mistake that. That is a fantastic achievement. Please stop sending us messages with links to buy your book and then ask us for reviews. Black Prose Club loves reading, but all of this stuff comes out of pocket. If you are specifically reaching out to us with the request of a service, the said service will require a fee. That's just what it is. Now, if you just so happen to shout us out and we just so happen to see that you have a book that we're interested in, that's totally different. But y'all be sending us these long messages and then get to the end and be like, here's the link to buy my book.
The disrespect.
3 copies of that book would need to be purchased, first of all. Again, Black Prose Club, we are a group. 2 of us run our own businesses and 1 of us is trying to get a book published. That's a lot of time and effort for nothing. And not gonna say for nothing, for free.
Yeah.
It's not for nothing. It's for free. So yeah. Sadly, yes, they're really doing that. And again, it's not that we don't highlight indie authors. It's just that, and I feel like this is going to be a podcast topic. And Neeks actually talked about this in a video that I watched today too. There's a lot of pressure reading an indie or a self-published author. It is a lot of pressure to review a self-published author. Especially if you get a book and you don't like it. What are you supposed to do? Like, that's a lot of pressure. So just think about that kind of thing before you send us telling us we should read your book. Just, we're people with whole lives. We schedule these things that we do for you guys months in advance. We actually have a calendar somewhere on my desk, and we've already planned out all of February.
Filled.
It's filled. So we treat this like a business so that we can function, and we would appreciate it if you treated us like a business as well.
Couldn't have said it better. That's the thing with arts, though. Like, there's inherently a pressure on the reader's end to maybe give a positive review, and then the fear of not liking it, and then the authors, you just have to be aware, indie or not, we may not like it.
We've seen how authors react to not getting good reviews lately.
Look, showing their whole assholes,
entire spread cheeks and all. We know, I know y'all probably like, how come they never talked about that? We were on our break during that time. We talked about it just to each other
in the group chat.
Yeah.
Oh, that also reminds me, if you're watching this video now, or if you're watching this on playback, and you think of topics that you would like us to discuss in our podcast, because we do like to keep our Sunday live show kind of book focused, unless we have a special guest. But our podcasts are free reign. So if you have topics about the Black community, topics about anything in general, even specifically about book community stuff, feel free to leave those in the comments. That helps us in the planning stages, because we also, again, we schedule everything in advance. If you are a part of our Patreon, that's a whole other list. You do get an exclusive podcast on Patreon that everyone else does not get to hear. So if you are interested, that's Patreon is another reason for you to get there. We have special journaling with Troy. If you've not seen Troy's journaling videos, or you probably have and didn't realize it was Troy, it's also on Patreon access. Yeah, we have different things for you guys. And yeah, Novelist, we'll fill you in later.
We sure will.
I haven't seen Novelist on here in a while. Hi, Novelist.
We missed you, Novelist.
Yeah, you've been gone for a very long time. That's another thing I really like about this community, is that we recognize you guys.
Yes.
We know when y'all aren't here.
Y'all are like family to us. We'll be like, oh, we haven't seen so-and-so in a while.
Yes, we'll just all up in the group chat, we'll be like, oh my gosh, where's Ted? He hasn't been here forever.
And then we decide, like, do we want to be creepy and just like,
right.
Like, exactly. We want them to have a life and leave it, like, not be creepers. Yep. If anybody has any more questions, feel free to post, because otherwise we've hit our thing. Oh, so we'll be doing a video about the reading challenge, obviously, but because you were watching this particular live and you didn't click off yet, if you go in the description box, there's a link. If you click it, you'll see what we'll be talking about. I waited until the end. Yeah, I waited until the end to specifically say this, because a lot of people don't read the description box. Yeah. So I purposely put it in there, and I was like, if you click on it, it should direct you to something you might like.
Oh, I do have a question. What is one thing that y'all would like to see from us this year? Or what is something? I guess I shouldn't limit you to one, but what's something that you would like to see from us this year? If you could put it right now so that we can talk about it, I'll give you a few minutes. But
shoot, you already know what I want, because I presented it as a thing that we should do. So you already know what I'm going to say.
I know.
I can't wait.
Because we have a lot of plans, but we haven't really gotten any input from y'all. These are just like things that we want to do. But, since this is like a community.
Oh, that's a good question.
So
will you
Miss WOC Reader asks, will you be doing any reading sprints? This is an excellent question because this is actually something we discussed very recently in ways that we could further utilize this channel. Yes, you will be definitely seeing some reading sprints this year. You will be seeing us okay, this is another thing. Definitely hit the notifications bell because we're going to be doing spontaneous lives this year where we're literally just going to, if we are all free and let's say it's a Tuesday night or a Saturday morning or afternoon, we're all free and we all have 30 minutes to an hour, we're going to decide to pop on and just talk about the books that we're currently reading and just have a grand old time. Which
means if your notification buttons aren't set to on, you'll miss it. And they're not going to be long. They're going to be 20-minute reading sprints. We also have things we got to do, but we also like talking to you guys and we love talking about books. So they're coming. Onyx Pages, I'd love to see you do an author interview for a book you'd love. Listen, we would like to do author interviews for books we love as well.
Look, I have 2 words. No, I have 1 word because I feel like he only needs 1 word, Tochi. I want him on her so bad.
For those who don't remember 2020, we, Oshley and I were a part of Jerry's quarantine pages.
Yes.
And we got to interview some of our favorite authors. Would not have happened without Jerry. And that from the moment that we did those interviews, we were like, we have to get authors on Black Prose. Have to. Plus, I would like to play complete nerd games with Tochi because life goals. Next question. Oh, this is my homie. Hi, DJ. Maybe a book-themed game night podcast. Oh, that would be fun. Okay, so I've actually talked about this idea with them a couple of times. I have ideas for game nights that are book-themed. We just have to kind of figure out how we'd execute it. But now that we upgraded StreamYard, we might actually be able to do game night,
or we could always use Zoom. I feel like we could probably utilize Zoom at some point.
Yeah, imagine that. We could do a Zoom well, we wouldn't be able to post it on Twitter because Lord knows the Zoom trolls would be flying in. We'd have to post it on one of our YouTube videos. But that's actually a good idea.
It is.
I see some people have opened that link. Nala said she skipped the Cinderella live stream because she hadn't finished it.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh, and thank you for giving us permission to be creepy. That's your fault, not ours. Y'all saw it on the screen. She gave us permission.
If you're still watching, please give us a like.
Yes.
If you haven't already.
I'm trying to think, is there anything else that would be... Oh, this is the idea that I was coming up with. Okay. So we want our podcast to be great, right? What's something in podcasts that we don't normally have in ours? Commercials. Commercials. If you or someone you know has a booktube, has a business, and you would like us to read your commercial on our podcast, feel free to send us an email and we will send you prices.
I like that.
Because, I feel like we might as well, imagine just when one of our lives, we're like, let's take a break. Boop. Insert our own commercial.
Really cool.
Because YouTube, I'm not trusting YouTube to do commercials. We can do our own. But if you are interested in, and this goes for people who want to pimp themselves or their business, as long as it is none of the obics, if you are phobic in any kind of way, take that home to your mama who raised you, because we don't do that here. Nope. But everything else is free game. I can't think of anything else other than the obics.
The obics.
The obics.
It's the obics. What's the obics? Homophobic, xenophobic. I could go through the line. Phobic. If you experience any type of hate towards a group of people because you don't know how to mind your own business, these ads are not for you.
Bye.
There you go.
Yep. I feel like I thought of something and then it left my mind. So it must not be that important.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wait.
You know what's funny? We haven't had Tobe or Teddy.
They're locked out. They're locked out.
We haven't had them barking alive in a while though. But this is how y'all know that it's time for us to go, because they're over it.
Yep.
That was actually
if y'all have any other requests, feel free to direct message us on Instagram or Twitter, or if you somehow have access to our email, you can send us an email. I think we're gonna try to wrap this up if we don't have anything else. I will say our next live, two things. For our Patreon members, we will try to get y'all's podcast up within the next week, so stay tuned. Jerry, I love you so much.
Of course you have access to his publicist. Of course you do.
There is nothing that Jerry can do.
Honestly, there really isn't. Like, we say that as a joke, but I've seen Jerry do some things where I was just like, how? For example, if you haven't gone on her channel recently, she recently collabed with Evelyn from the Internets. Just randomly. So good. Just if you haven't checked out Onyx pages, Black Prose likes Onyx pages.
Oh, I can't get comfortable in this chair. But
anybody else got anything?
Oh, I was just going to say, for our Patreon members, we're going to have y'all's exclusive podcast up next week. And we're also going to have the journal with me up next week at some point. For our next monthly live show is going to be on Sunday, January 17th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This Sunday.
This
Sunday.
Oh. This Sunday.
I was like, that's this Sunday.
There's literally a running joke in this book club. I never know when things are.
By the way, if you want to know, she is our leader. She sets the dates for a lot of people. We have to remind her, like, that's tonight.
Okay, so our topic is to be determined, but if y'all really have something that you're just like burning for us to talk about, like I said, you can always DM us on our social media. And then we have our Monday night podcast, which will be on Monday, January 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be doing a fun topic for that one, nothing too deep, because February is going to be
so much fun.
So many things in February. Okay, so that's it. If there's nothing else, I think we are going to go now.
Also, anybody who ordered last week, your orders are right. Wait, there. I can't do it. Those boxes are orders. That's why everything looks a mess behind me. Just in case we end up on like the gossip thing again. Like, I know my office is dirty. I run a business. What do you do?
Guru, what was it? Guru gossip?
Gossiper or whatever.
Or
we have one more question before we leave.
Will you be doing collab with other booktubers?
Yeah.
Starting in February, yes.
Yeah, you might want to go back in the playback and kind of rewatch some of our goals. But yes, we will be doing a huge collaboration next month. Stay tuned. And we've always collaborated with other booktubers. If you go back and watch some of our special guest lives, we've had quite a few booktubers on.
We also had some like bloggers too. Like
most recently, we had LaSalle Samberry on. She is going to be debuting her book Blood Like Magic, I believe this summer. I want to say this summer. I can't remember the exact date. But she was our most recent guest, and she's an author tuber. And you can check out the video somewhere on our channel, like 3 or 4 videos ago, or 2.
Yeah, last year we had LaSalle. We had Noria.
Yes.
If we have to bring Noria back for something fun next time. Amber from... Oh my God, I never remember Amber Dior. There we go.
We also had B from, I don't know what their channel name is. Is it still B but Bookish, or?
I think it's Bewitched Books now.
Yes, Bewitched Books. Justin is a constant history, our history buff.
We've had
who?
Shane was.
Oh yeah, Shane from Luxurious Blue. Who else? I feel like we've had somebody else on here.
It's possible.
It's possible. I'm drawing blanks right now, but No, and Jerry, you do not emails, bro. Calm down.
Is it Guru Gossip or Makeup Alley or what are they called?
I don't remember.
We were on both, actually.
Yeah, we were on both. One of them was talking about how we don't like Thug. And then the other one was just, I think, a link to one of our videos. But we have a rule. I should say this. Please don't send me no links to Guru or whatever.
You don't care.
I don't read those. Nope.
Why
would mean that?
Go to read hate? Why?
Yeah, I just don't understand why you would actively go look for somebody saying something terrible about you. Like,
maybe I don't care.
Right. It's like, oh, I'm having a bad day. Let me go see what somebody's going to say about me to make my day worse so I can go complain about it on Twitter.
Yeah, no.
Nah.
We don't do that. We're grown here. We're very grown on this channel. We just don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. Y'all know what's coming up. Join us on Sunday. Apparently this Sunday.
You have to roll your eyes.
Apparently this Sunday.
I mean,
the whole January is in our group chat.
It's fine.
I roll is what took me. It was like, oh, okay. So you don't want to do it.
Maybe we should read everything or something. I don't know.
Like this month is already halfway done. I'm just like, what's happening?
Yeah. That just means we're closer to my birthday. That's all that matters. Aquarius season is upon us.
Wait, isn't yours on the 29th?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, leave a comment. We'll get back to you. Oh, it seems we have one more that didn't show up on StreamYard. I would love to hear you talk about African American heritage and fantasy. Ooh. That's we'll add that to the list. I mean, African American heritage in general is a topic that we have actually been discussing about the best way to approach that conversation because that's an intense conversation.
We have a live coming up. It may or may not be on Sunday if we can't think of anything else.
I know. Justin, if you're watching this, we need you to go ahead and buff the history part up because clearly we're going to need a segue. Thanks.
Yeah, Justin, are you free on Sunday at 6:30?
Right. Don't worry. We'll send you a text message when we're done. We need a history write-up for Sunday. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I double-checked the comments from both sides, so we're good now.
We got a happy anniversary text from my friend Ananda. Book club.
Hi, Ananda.
Thank you.
It's
so sweet.
I know Ananda. Okay. We're going to end this now, guys, because now we got to go back to being adults. So thank you guys so much for checking it out. We look forward to 2021 with you guys. Yeah. Thanks for coming back all these times. Anything y'all want to say?
Thanks, guys.